thank you, Sam, for coming and chatting with me today.
No problem.
We are sat in the Moresby show home, which you guys have just completely transformed.
Yeah.
Talk to me. What have you done? How have you changed it? Obviously, we've gone for a sustainable feel.
Exactly. So, we wanted to incorporate lots of recycled bits of furniture. So, in here, we've taken some side tables that were pretty kind of boring before, and just hanging around, and we've put lots of cork tops in the top.
I mean, they look amazing.
They look really great, don't they? It's and it didn't take that long at all.
And easy to do, obviously. I'm
Exactly.
assuming. Well, I say that I didn't do it, but kind of quite easy to do.
I mean, there's so many videos online where you can just learn how to do so many different things. So just watch a little tutorial for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then you're a professional at upcycling, and it's great fun as well. It's good for mindfulness. You're just kind of concentrating on one thing. You shut all the world out around you, and just get creative.
I think, well, I like to assume I'm quite creative, but I think people would fall more in love with the piece if they've made it themselves. Do you not
Definitely.
think? Instead of just buying it off the shelf. Yeah.
Exactly. Whereas you're buying it off the shelf, it's a nice piece, but that's it. Where you've upcycled something, you've spent a lot of time, you've spent a lot of love just making it look really, really good. Yeah.
And we've got a recycled coffee table.
Recycled coffee table. So this was an old pallet. So we wanted to try and keep the kind of rustic pallet look with this, and then just kind of sanded it down a little bit. Just something you can do in your back garden with a bit of sandpaper. You don't need any fancy tools to do it. And found some legs to go on the bottom, and it's a perfect coffee table.
Yeah, it's great size, great colour, everything. Yeah. So not everyone has the luxury that we do to be able to create these schemes. Mm-hmm. Could you design and upcycle things with a limited budget?
I think so, because you've perhaps got furniture around your house that you've had for years, and it might just even be a case of painting it, and that gives it a whole new lease of life. Put some handles on the front of it, and it'll look like a completely different piece. And
even getting an old book and putting them over your bedside tables.
Exactly, you can try that as well. That's a lot of fun. We've got some bedsides upstairs that we've decoupaged, and that's a really great fun to do. And you can get the kids involved as well, because it's just a bit of PVA glue. Yeah. You're ripping pages out of
that sounds like my cup of tea.
See,
completely.
You just stick them on, and it looks like a completely new piece. It looks really, really nice.
And again, all semi-affordable, really.
Exactly, yeah. That was an old book. It was the Jungle book we used, because we've got a jungle room here as well. And it's great fun. Rip a few pages out, slap some PVA glue on, and you're done.
And a nice new piece of furniture.
Exactly, yeah.
4 in 10 Brits say that they are trying their best at upcycling to reduce waste on the planet, which is very, I guess, on trend at the minute with higher living costs. But people like me who've never upcycled before, any tips and ideas or ways to show how we can create these upcycled pieces of furniture?
I think it's just, I think a lot of people are quite scared to initially even try to actually upcycle any of their furniture. But I think you've just got to dive in head first and just get creative. I mean, we've made lampshades out of jute twine, and so we've had an old horrible lampshade, ripped the fabric off because we didn't want to use that, and then just twined some lovely
See, I wouldn't even think to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just so cool.
And it gives kind of like, especially when it's dark outside and you've got this little lamp on, the light's just coming through the twine. It's just a really nice little glow. And I mean, you can shop around for lampshades, and they're a lot of money. Whereas doing that, it costs you for a ball of string and a bit of time as well. But you can sit in front of the TV and do it. It's fine. But yeah, that's a good little tip. I mean, the bottles that we used, they were bottles that you have around the house. We've used some lovely gin bottles here for the upcycle. But yeah, as long as you've got a drill, and some safety goggles as well. Give it a go. But yeah.
I mean, I know obviously I'm a big TikTok fan. I don't know if you are as well, but there are hundreds of reels on there on how to do upcycling things.
Yeah.
I actually think it was one of the highest searched terms, upcycling, which is great, which is where we want to be, and we want to move people into this new sustainable world. Did you create any videos when you were carrying out this scheme? I mean, that would be great ideas and tips to show people.
Yeah, so we've created a reel of how we did the side tables in here, how we've done the bedsides upstairs, so the decoupaged ones, also the bedsides that we've stuck individual little bits of bamboo wood on the front.
Quite a time-consuming task.
Yeah. It's going to take a little bit of time to do it, but versus the cost that you're going to spend on upcycling, it's totally worth it.
I can imagine it's quite therapeutic. I mean, I think I would find something like that quite therapeutic anyway.
Yeah, totally.
And rewarding, like you say, you just probably fall in love with the piece even more once you've completed it.
Yeah, because you've just spent all this time on it, and you're it just gives it a whole new lease of life.
So with sustainability just being at the forefront of everybody's mind, what are Edward Thomas doing to kind of put their foot forward and start to change the way they are?
So as designers, we beginning to use a lot more wallpapers that are sustainably sourced, even fabrics as well. We're starting to see a lot more of that come along, but again, it is also the price point of using these sustainable fabrics. They're a lot higher, but they're built to last, and they're going to stay in your home for a really long time and not end up in landfill.
And actually, it's that peace of mind that we'll invest, but you're actually doing your bit, not for the world, really, aren't you? It's all about giving back. So I like that. It's really good.
It kind of it makes you you feel a lot better that you're playing it might even be a tiny part, but lots of tiny parts all come together and make
and create fantastic schemes.
Which
I'm absolutely in love with.
Oh, I'm so pleased you love it.
There's a lot of talk with fashion about being fast fashion and how industries are trying to change that. Do you kind of come across the same hurdles in the design industry with furniture?
Yeah, totally. I think they're quite similar. There's fast furniture really. Furniture that's perhaps cheaply made, shipped in from miles away. It's not going to last a long time. It's so cheap. That's why you need to kind of really change your way of thinking a little bit, and maybe invest in a nice piece. I mean, these dining table chairs, they're vintage antique pieces from the 70s. And we've primed them, we've painted them, and we've given them a new lease of life, which is what this show home is all about.
I'm catching up with you, Paola, to talk all things energy saving, so solar panels, EV points. Have Edward Thomas looked to change the way they deliver their furniture? Yeah,
we've just introduced some electric vans. So when we're going around the country doing our installs, we are powered by electricity now.
Amazing, because you never thought you'd be there, how the world has changed, and that anywhere, any car, van can now be electric.
Exactly, we're in the future. So when we're talking to our suppliers, we're noticing now a lot of them are talking much more about the sustainability elements of their products, so wallpapers, fabrics. They're talking about the VOCs in the wallpaper.
And VOCs are, for someone that's not clued up on what VOCs are.
Such a good question. So VOCs, they're basically the glues, the vapours, all the kind of nasty bits that used to be.
Oh, okay.
It's something that we're really noticing now with our suppliers.
A big focus for Barratt Homes moving forward, like it is for most companies, is definitely sustainability. And of course, as it always has been, giving back to the community.
Sure.
And I know that you've managed to incorporate that into this scheme as well.
Yeah. We've tried to use where possible local people, so local carpenters, to make things like this bench that we're sat on.
This bench itself is made out of reclaimed wood, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Even down to artwork, we've used a local artist who's done those.
And the artwork is phenomenal, isn't it?
They're beautiful, aren't they?
And is it of the local coast?
That's right. Yeah. So it's and it's one-off piece as well. You're not going to walk into someone else's living room and have exactly the same piece there. It's unique.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
These are really cool. So what are these made out of? Because these aren't your traditional light shades.
No. So they're made out of bamboo. They're actually plant pots.
Oh, fab!
So yeah, we've had a local electrician wire them up, and they now make really lovely shades.
They're really cool, like the way the light comes through them, and you wouldn't actually think that they're plant pots.
No, exactly. Yeah, and then even like we've upstairs in one of the bedrooms, we've going back to TikTok, we've used one of the trends that you see on there all the time is a pegboard headboard. So we've sourced a local artisan to make that for us, and it's really great. It's you can make it really modular and move little shelves around. So you
almost just to have it to suit you at any point.
Exactly.
Things you can do with the I wouldn't even think to use a pegboard as a headboard.
I know, yeah.
But it looks amazing.
It really does, yeah. You can use the shelves for anything. Put your whatever you're reading on there, or cup of tea in the morning. Great.
So I absolutely love the idea of the compost bin, because people don't really recycle much. I think we actually, as a country, only 26% of us recycle, which is crazy.
Okay.
But I think having like a cool way to do it, so people don't just see this ugly looking compost bin, will encourage them to do it. Are there any other ways we could encourage them inside as well as outside?
Yeah, I think so. But I think it's a lot to do. A lot of it is to do with using brands that have sustainability kind of behind them. Even the food in your house, if you can try and get it from the local farm shop, if you can try and get it from anywhere that's close to you, then you're cutting down your carbon footprint on going to kind of the big supermarkets. And even you get through so many bottles of shampoo, and that's just another waste of plastic. So we've used shampoo bars here. They do exactly the same job, and then you're not using that plastic that you can't use again
straight away. Then aren't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Great idea.
It's just little things like that. Just kind of changing your habits a little bit will really make a difference.
I'm a huge fan of nature, and we caught up with a local landscaper not that long ago to talk about how you can combine nature-friendly with contemporary. And what I love here is we've actually managed to bring the outdoors in without kind of overdoing it, still keeping it stylish and still being able to upcycle, recycle, but kind of keeping that calm feel throughout. Do you have a lot of other companies that are looking to introduce those sorts of things throughout their schemes?
Companies these days are definitely mindful of where they're sourcing their timber and all their things. If they're getting it from overseas, that's going to be a huge carbon footprint on shipping things over from, say, China. Whereas if we start just looking a little bit smaller and just looking around the corner, we can get the same items and products from around the corner that we might have been used to in the past, getting from miles and miles away. It's just about changing your thinking a little bit. And
like you say, that's also giving back to the communities that I mean, for us, that we build in and creating that environment where everyone wants to live.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it's great that other companies are looking to do that as well.
Yeah, I think it's it's definitely the way forward. It's definitely the way forward.
I guess the question would be, though, is more locally sourced products.
Mm-hmm.
are usually more expensive than those that you can buy in bulk or from your local superstore, whatever.
Yeah.
And I guess that's when we kind of go back to upcycling and recycling old bits of loved furniture, which you want to fall back in love with again, to kind of almost eliminate that as well. So it's almost like getting the best of both.
Yeah, I mean, it may end up being a bit more expensive than you might usually buy a one-off piece from someone down the road, but you know that piece is going to last you a lot longer than buying a piece from the high street. So that will keep you going for years, and then if you get a little bit bored with it, you just upcycle it.
You can add your own little touch to it again.
Yeah, exactly.
That's been amazing. Thank you for sitting down with me and creating such a wonderful show home.
No problem. Loved every minute of it.